Hello viewers, welcome back to another edition on the Educational Forum live on Vision TV with me, SAIDOU JALLOW. Today our topic is the effects on the banning of corporal punishment in our schools. So joining with me are two gentlemen from the field of education whom I will allow to introduce himself before we get to the main focus. Mr. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, good evening viewers. My name is Abdullah Biba. I am a BSc holder in mathematics, and then I have been teaching for quite a number of years now. So I'm happy to be here and thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ba. Yes, gentlemen?
Good evening viewers. I am Babu Gartize alias Busy the Speaker, a motivational speaker and currently a student in Gambia College School of Education. And I'm glad you're having us here.
Thank you very much, both of you. I'm also glad to be having you here. So as the topic implies, today we'll be discussing about the effects of the banning of corporal punishment in our school. So what are some of the effects, perhaps you know, perhaps they are the negative effect of the banning of corporal punishment in our school?
Yeah, you know, everything or whatever decision or policy we have come with to face, and that have to be the positive and the negative, you know. And first we have to know what a corporal punishment is, because corporal punishment is to cause a pain to a child to experience pain, so to rectify the misbehavior he or she has caused. Okay, so I think banning that and stopping it totally, you know, has definitely affected the education system. Because, for instance, let's go back to the 90s and 20th century. We realize our fathers and our uncles who were there during that period, you know, they were learning better and things were going better for them. So, you know, so banning this, I think, definitely give us more problem than solution to produce more and better productive citizens. So I believe later I will throw more onto that.
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much, Mr. Cisse, on that. Mr. Ba, can you tell us some of these effects?
Okay, thank you so much for having me once again. From the gentleman, just to redefine again, when we talk about corporal punishment, it's just a physical way of discipline. To be honest, the intention is not to kill, neither to cause any harm, but then this is just a way of disciplining or trying to remove foolishness in one individual. So I want to believe, as far as the intention was not to kill and then to create any harm, it was just to direct or to create standard at the end of the day. So corporal punishment, if you look at it in just a brief context, this is something that we have been using even at home. Yes, there's corporal punishment at home. And then looking at the African society, why this is shifted at school is something that has been working at home. Because looking at the society then and the society now, it is quite different. Then if you misbehave, your mom or dad will set you to standard. And he will make sure that you regret what you did. So because of that now, we see that it is working at home. That's why it is shifted at the school. So teachers were using it in a way of discipline, because if you can reflect, then you know people will just take their children to school just to have respect from that. Because if a child is so misbehaving at home, at some point parent will say, let me take this individual to school, so that at least to get some respect or morals at the end of the day. And we can feel some of the effect right now, because the banning of corporal punishment, we are not trying to say it is creating a lot of harm, though it is at some point very good, because it is creating a lot of free for students to interact with their teachers. Then if during the corporal punishment it was very difficult students to interact, and at some point many of the students have to leave the school. So as the topic go broader, we will get to break down some of the negative effect and then the positive effect. Yeah, there are a lot of negative effects that corporal punishment have brought to the school and students, and at some point there are also some benefits that we have been used or that we have been achieved because of corporal punishment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ba, on that. So what do you think? What do you think are the positive effects?
Yeah, the positive effect of corporal punishment. One of the positive effects that corporal punishment was at least realized in schools or at home level is respect. Yeah, because comparing the generation now, it is very difficult. Students at school, okay, at some point, student can attack you in a class, but then respect was based on respecting your teacher is a must. You must have to respect your teacher. But nowadays, respecting your teacher is based on maybe his competency and then his personality. But then you have to respect your teacher. No matter how small a teacher is, you have to respect, because if you don't, you will be dealt with very seriously. So the moment a student created a mistake, that mistake will be corrected by using the cane or the whips. So that was very, very helpful, to be honest. Students have to fully do their work and then respect their teachers. I could recall then, if you are given an assignment, you are not even mad not to do it, because you know that if you go to class, you will be punished.
Exactly.
Yes, and then test and assignment. But now we are in fact feeling it. Now you go, you give an assignment, students will not even do it. And if they come to school, there's nothing that you can do. You just have to apply some principles to go on there, but at the end of the day, nothing will come out of it. So we are losing the effectiveness of these students in terms of participating or doing their work. That is definitely losing. Okay, and then the respect too. Okay, then it was very effective, and the respect too that teachers were experienced was just wonderful, because a student is not mad to talk to rudely to the teacher or to misbehave. But now we are seeing all these problems even at home level.
Exactly.
Okay, so I think then there was a lot of respect at school, and then there was a lot of participation in terms of assignments and school work. Students have to do their work. So yes, those are some of the positive things that teachers were definitely enjoying during that time.
It's quite obvious. So, Mr. Sise, do you think that the government has achieved the reason why they do this corporal punishment?
Yeah, basically I would say of course not. You understand, just as he said, because when we get them, learning was effective. And they school kids who are doing what is expected, of them. You understand? Because the corporal punishment then was sifting these kids from their want into their need. Because we have these two things, they are different. Your want and your need. You might want something, but you don't need it. Exactly. Now then they knew this kid, all they need is the education. All they need is to set them to be a standard, a better person in future. Now they're guiding them towards that. That was that corporal punishment was all about. But now they came in and say, let us remove the corporal punishment. That is the ideology of the West. They're coming up with that because they knew the people who are being trained or who are being schooled through the schooling system in 19th century, in 20th century, were better schooled. And from those people now we can see most of the great African leaders rise from. Now they don't want the same thing to continue. They don't want many African leaders to rise. Now they say, you know what? I think their system is working better because of the corporal punishment. Their system is working better because they are showing them the way. Now what can we do? Let's engage their government through policies. And now they leave the teachers with no choice. With no choice in the school. It's like they are soldiers who they send to the battlefield with no weapon. You can take these kids, but do not discipline them.
Exactly.
That is very bad. And now I realize something. People easily learn from pain. Now let's check, for instance, the footballers. You can see the footballer running. The guy is breathing. The guy is suffered. You understand the muscle and receive pain. But if you don't go through the training, you can never be a good footballer. So hard work pays. I think we need to bring that back if we want better people in the system. The school was helpful and the society was helpful. I'm more in for corporal punishment rather than, not to corporal punishment in our school system. Yeah.
So does it mean now, in this case, the government has achieved the reason why they impose the banning of the corporal punishment?
Yeah, because they'll say, okay, the reason is so that this kid can have interaction with the teachers and blah, blah. Now we see that. Kids are having interaction with the teachers. But what? They're kids, they don't know what they want. They don't know what they need. We have to solve them. We are the teachers. We need to, because they need a hand to hold them, a voice to guide them. So we are that voice, we are that hand. But there is, you understand, maybe we only see, but there is something behind it. Government achieve nothing. Let's check. That's why we have a lot of the people in the system who are not better. They're not benefiting the country. Exactly. You can see somebody who say, you know, he got everything, you know, they go, they're smart, they're intelligent, but they ain't got no discipline. Because the point is, they are not raised. They are not raised with discipline. Exactly. You understand? And this is what we need back. It's what we need back. American Pride is the same thing. I think that was in 1977 when they banned it, but now in 2014, 2015, they had to bring it back to some states because they knew how good it is, how helpful it would be. That's why now we have more dropout in our school system than ever. A kid will stand in a class and say rubbish to a teacher. They will not listen to you. Hey, you stop eating. They will not stop eating. Hey, you come to school on time. They will not come to school on time because you know what? They knew you're gonna do nothing. Nothing today. Nothing, absolutely. But if a child come here today, he or she does something, and you punish the person physically. The next day when the child is coming, going to say, oh, if I'm late or if I didn't do my assignment, they're going to punish me. This child going to make sure that he does his assignment or her assignment before coming to school. So I see there is no punishment, man. Come on, you see it outside there. Exactly. A lot of young people doing nothing. A lot of young people out there. Somebody will be in grade 12 country, somebody in grade 10 country. You know, so where is the system? What are they giving to us? Because, you know, I think this system make us lazy. You understand? Because, you know, because a child is unwilling. Not that child can't do it. Not that child can't. But the child is unwilling. Now, if a child is unwilling, what do? You need to do something to make the child to do that. Now, that is the corporal punishment. You see, nobody is stupid. Nobody is stupid. You understand? Maybe they need somebody who's going to push them. Somebody who's going to be at their back, give them a tap. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to do this. You understand? Now, we don't have that in the system. So I see government achieve nothing in that. Because when it comes to productivity, we got nothing in that. So what is the achievement? Nothing. There you go.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ba, as one of the negative effects for this corporal banning of the corporal punishment is lack of respect. Students lack respect to their teachers. How do you think this affects the education of students?
Okay, just to add on to what the gentleman was saying, at some point we can say government have achieved something from it, because like looking at it in a practical way, what is happening right now in the schools, then corporal punishment was at least trying to create a lot of disturbance to the students. There was a lot of fear to the students, but at least now students can express their will in class. They can ask you questions, they can interact with you, they can call you, so they can even visit you. Exactly. So at that time it was very difficult to do that. I can reflect when I was going to school. Some of my teachers, when I see them, I run away. Exactly. Yeah, so this is all because of the intimidation that they were putting on us.
Because sometimes we were not there to go outside
exactly.
During night time.
But at least I think the banning have helped to create that environment now. So that's an achievement. Students now are free to interact with their teachers. And the more a child is free to interact, the more he or she will be able to express some of his problems. Some of these students, remember, they are human beings, they have issues, they have problems. So their chances of interacting with their teachers will help to solve most of their problems. And looking at it in another way around, there were a lot of dropouts then. Yeah, because like let's say if you are targeted, the way it was done, teachers were abusing it, to be honest. Corporal punishment was being abused. Exactly. There were teachers that were very, very, very brutal. They kick you, they hit you so seriously. So that was, making some of the students to drop out of schools.
But in some place it was advantageous.
But
time to time.
Mr. Gallo, I will definitely disagree with that, because this was a time when teachers were parents. You understand? During the days of corporal punishment, teachers were parents, and now teachers are no longer parents but teachers.
No,
I just want to say something. I just want to say something here. You understand? Today, I can say we have more dropout in our school system when they started this new policy than yesterday when there were corporal punishment, because parents were helping, teachers were helping. That's why they control. I remember when I was in the village, you dare not to go out when after the Isha prayer. You have to be inside reading your book. Now they are showing to us what we should do, not what we want to do. You understand? Now, honestly speaking, it happened to myself. I remember there is this man, Mr. Senghor. When I was in grade 6, anytime Mr. Senghor, came to class, he was a Babugari, and I'll be like, hey man, am I the only guy here? You understand? And now I start reading, and then I stammer. And Mr. Senghor said, read. And I, so the student laughing at me, all the time, but continuously. And these teachers, sometimes I dodge away from study, they have to beat me. You understand? They have to beat me. As time goes on, I was mad at the teacher. I hate the teacher. I don't like him. To be honest, let me come. But now as time goes on, when I was in grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, when I start reading and my colleagues start calling Babu Garcia CNN, Babu Garcia GRTS, you understand? Today, I honor that man. I wish I can see him. I will go to him and I give him my 2 hands. I say, thank you, man, from the bottom of my heart. You understand? That's why I say we should understand something. Our want as a kid, we should not follow our want. We should follow our need. And that is what we should do, not what we want to do.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. And I'm not denying the fact that corporal punishment have brought, a lot of, disadvantages.
No, when you talk about more dropout,
what I'm just trying to say is, there are some achievement from it. Government have achieved something from it.
Exactly.
Because the intention of banning these was at least trying to create some of this environment. That's what I'm trying to explain. To help these students to interact, because they are human beings.
Exactly.
So at least they have achieved something. That's what I'm trying to say. You cannot say that government have achieved nothing from this. The banning have brought something positive. Though there are a lot of negative things that have been, from the ban, but definitely there are also some positivity that have been achieved from the ban.
There you go. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But sometimes when I take, when the percentage of the negativity, cover the percentage of positivity. You understand? I see no use of it. This is about building a nation. This is about building ministers, president, doctors, armies and all that. You understand? So now when I see the good number of these are all going to a mess, man, I just call it, not achievement.
Yeah,
no, I basically agree. There is an achievement, but is it good?
Yes, exactly. It is debatable. What I can say, there was a time I can say during our time when we were in primary school, you are not there to go outside during night time, because sometimes there are teachers who will give one of their students a paper and tell them write the name of every student you see outside. If you see Mr. A, write Mr. A for me. The next day, if Mr. A come to school, the punishment he will receive, the following day Mr. B or Mr. C will not try to do something against either.
As saying that now, you can realize some positivity and negativity from that. Because one of the negativity from that is that student, if he or she knew that his name is being written down, he's not going to school.
He's not going to school.
And he's losing some contact hours.
Exactly.
And then another positivity is that is making the student not to go out. So you can see now, this is why I say the topic is debatable. There are some negativity and there are some positivity.
But then those students also, if they know that if they go to school tomorrow, they will be beaten. Sometimes for certain reason, if they are given homework, if they don't do the homework, the moment they enter the class, the teacher will beat them.
Of course.
So they must do it.
Yeah.
So today, sometimes you go to school, students will be given homework, assignment, but they don't even bother to do the assignment.
It's definitely happening. Yeah. I'm an instructor, I teach.
Exactly.
Yeah, sometimes you give students assignment, they will not do it.
They will not do it, yeah. Because they know there's no punishment for it.
If they come to school, you ask them the assignment, you don't do it.
So
the only thing that you can do is maybe for them to fail that mark, but you are not there to beat them.
To beat them, you see.
If you want to beat them, they will fight you.
Exactly.
And in fact, the schools also have rules and regulations on how to handle the students. You are not there to insult, you are not there to beat or shout. So you have to follow procedures, and those procedures at the end of the day make no sense, but maybe just trying to do some suspensions or something like that. Maybe, just trying to delay the student for some days or whatsoever.
Nah.
And then this another way also affects students, because nowadays you see students graduating from grade 12, even to speak correct sentence is a problem. But then teachers used to force their students to read. Or to calculate sometimes in mathematics.
One of the disadvantages of this corporal punishment, many people will argue, is the quality of education.
Yes, exactly.
If we sit with our grands and our fathers, they'll be telling you now your education system is not quality. And this have to do with the banning of the corporal punishment.
Of the corporal punishment,
because
exactly.
then when it was enforced, then when you have to do your assignment to go to school, then when you have to study most, if not your name will be written if you go out.
That's quite obvious.
Then one can say there was a proper education, or the education was very quality, and then it was going with moral. So the moral was supporting it, and then we can see a greater output at the end of the day.
Obvious.
But now that there's no corporal punishment, students are free. Students can do anything they want. They can absent from school. If they don't want, they can do that. They will not do their assignment, their tests, and whatsoever. So at some point, it's creating a lot of harm in our education system, because at the end of the day, we are seeing a lot of people who graduate and then they are graduating with poor result, and even if they get good result, they cannot defend the result because there is no moral.
There is no moral.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes, and then it was not something that is struggled. So student now can get it so freely that whatever you don't struggle for, you don't value it.
Exactly.
And we could see a very little impact at the end of the day from all your papers and whatsoever, how many credits you have. So the quality is definitely questionable now. We are seeing a lot of people graduating, but one can question the quality of the education, and this we can connect it to the banning of
this corporal punishment.
Because like I said, then you have to do your work, but now there's nothing compelling you. So I want to believe the banning has some good side, it also has some negative side. All what we need is we have to see what is working for us. As a society, as a country, we have to look what is working for us. So government have to come and say, we are not saying that it should not be banned, and we are not in for that it should be banned. But what we are saying is, let's look for something that is working for us. Our society and the American society is different, for instance. They know what is working for them. So even if we are to ban it, let them bring something that will work, a policy that have to be implemented. If the student misbehave, this is the punishment, and that's no mass. But we have a lot of laws in our schools. And if you go to the classroom, the laws are tested, but they are not implemented.
No.
That's the problem.
Student will be talking in class, and the law says no students is
talking in class.
But nothing will be done at the end of the day. So it's like we have to come up with something that will work for us.
Exactly. Implementing the policies should be a matter of must.
Yeah, but I think Mr. Jallow's quite, he says something that matters. Like if a child knew, like if I go to school tomorrow simply because I'm out last night, I will be punished. That child might not go to school.
Exactly.
Remember, then teacher will leave everything to go to the home of a particular child to ask why did the child didn't come to school today? How many of us doing that today? Perhaps none. And today, communication is easier. It's easier than yesterday because we have cell phone where we can do our communication. And again, that system was better because you can see these teachers are telling this child, you have to study, from study you have to go to bed. You have nothing to do outside.
Exactly.
Now, let's get current day. With social, amenities, nightclub, you see these kids going to nightclub and they're on social media all the time. There are TVs in the house, if they're not watching TV, they're on social media. WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, you understand, and other media outlets. You understand? So now you see, that is no better for these people.
Exactly.
But then when teachers say, don't do this, now because you knew, if I don't go to bed by 8, or if I don't study, that would be a problem for me. And that system was raising educationalists, was raising those who are going to be better, was giving knowledge to people. Today the system is giving us no knowledge. Because we're going to realize one thing. That's why we graduate with a result that we can't back. Because you know what? We are trained for exam. We are not trained for knowledge.
Exactly.
That is the biggest problem here. Right now, for example, your student can fail, no problem, internal exam. But when that kid, come out with 7th grade, 9th grade, you clap for the kid. Sometimes we ourselves that, oh, how did he or she get it? And now you yourself, when you were at the college or university, there are some, the same class with you. You wonder, how did they make it to college? They're not good. Now, because that is the system. There is no punishment. There is no pain. No, everybody will be like, hey man, it's cool. I go to school anytime I want. This guy who's supposed to be in school tomorrow by 8 a.m., this guy will go to bed by 4 a.m., by 3 a.m., 2 a.m. And this guy is having a cell phone, everything. Then in the times of corporal punishment, they say, you're not going to come with no cell phone.
Exactly, no cell phone.
This is what you have to do. You know what? We are not worried. You can be at home, do whatever you want to do. But now if you come to school, you must follow our standard. That's why the son of the president, the son and the daughters of the ministers, the CEO, the directors, and all the good position holders in the country are not going to public school. They take him to the private school where there are good standard, where they are well disciplined. You dare not to do what you do in the public school when you go to those private schools. And the very people who set up this policy for us are the very people who don't trust the same policy and took their kids, say to them, no, that is not the policy for you. Now we take you where there are standard policies that will be better for you. Check, they're not even doing this WAS exam. They're all doing international exam. It is us who are from poor, home, whose father, daddy struggle to bring bag of rice home, mother struggle early in the morning, is up, go to the market for that stuff, so to bring something home, or go to garden, to get something for the family. We're the one who goes to that school. And because of there is no corporal punishment, some teacher, when they talk to the student they listen to them, they're like, oh, okay, you can do whatever you want to do. After all, I will be paid with my money. I will receive my salary at the end of the month. So you are not raising that child to become somebody responsible tomorrow. Yeah, you can shout, if you want, don't come. If you want, don't lie. Do whatever you want to do. What matters is every end of month, I am receiving my salary. Bro, I tell you one thing. The mass discipline sector in the country are the security sector. They are well disciplined because you know what? They train them with moral. They train them with standard. You do what is right during the train, you don't do, they punish you. And that have to do with the corporal punishment until they go kick it. That's why when the boss man is buzzing, anybody sitting there, they sit up, something like that, and they all hand by their side like that. When you go in, they all salute you, it goes like that. Now, where is our standard? Where is the discipline? Where is the moral? A kid, you're talking to a kid, let's sign on the mount, who are they attracting? Looking at you at the chunk of their eyes is, come on. Let's kick out. That you call fear and intimidation, I don't see it as a fear and intimidation, but I see it as a method or process that was used to raise better and responsible citizens of our country through the education system. Yeah. Does it? I don't know what point you have to defend.
Exactly, that's it. But then this banning of this corporal punishment also, it has some advantages sometimes, because at times you go to school where sometimes students were being punished for sometimes for not doing certain things, but nowadays they are not punishing for them for doing that undesired things. So perhaps sometimes you go to school, you see a student, they will stand for their teachers just to fight for them.
That is it. One thing is, schooling system is not only about telling this kid what is ABCD or 1, 2, 3. The most important thing, to tell this kid is to tell them who they are, and we have to put them through.
Exactly.
And there cannot be a better discipline system only if all the time you talk to this kid, you have to do this, you have to do that, and this kid was like, hey man, come on, hey, let's go. every day he's gonna repeat the same thing. Kids scaling the fence, dodging away from school, going home. Nothing can be done about it because you know what? There is no punishment.
And all this is because of, they said, human right or child right?
You know, a child right is to provide the child all the necessary stuff. The child needs so to become responsible somebody tomorrow.
Exactly.
You know, the child right is to provide the child a clothes. You understand? Shelter, food, and take that child to the school. Now raise that child to become somebody better in future. That's what a child right is. How do you say this is a child right? You say, okay, you know, child say this is what the child wants, so I will allow the child to do that. For example, when a child should read a book, but the child say, I want to go and play outside. But the child should read a book. Or there is a movie which is for 18 years above, and this child say, I want to watch this movie. When the child should not watch that movie. So we have to guide them. We have to guide them to become somebody better in future. If not, they're going to be like, oh, they will become somebody they don't, you know, at the end, they themselves are going to like themselves.
Exactly.
At the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Ba, how do you think this has affected now the growth of our education system?
Yeah, one thing I also want us to understand, like the society is shifting, to be honest. People are moving now.
Exactly.
So there are certain things we cannot have them now. That's another thing that we have to consider now. So with all these corporate punishment, it cannot be possible now. Because the society is moving, people are modernized, people are becoming more technologically motivated. You can read in your house, you can do everything in your house. So if there is a school that want to do corporate punishment, I'm sorry, you might not get even 2 students in your school. So the society is definitely shifting. Yeah, we can see a lot of difficulties in school. To respond to your question, we are seeing a lot of difficulties nowadays in dealing with the kids because young teachers like us, at some point, student will challenge you.
Exactly.
And that is a very difficult experience.
That's quite
yes.
okay.
Yes. You will be in class, at some point you want to enforce certain things, student will tell you how to do it.
You will not do
yes. Or you'll be insulted, your mom or dad will be insulted before everybody in the class.
Exactly.
So there you have to, express maybe, your morals and then your values to handle the situation. But these are issues that are definitely disturbing. Imagine a student insulting you before the class. It is very painful at some point. It's definitely very painful. Or even to be attacked. I was one time attacked in a class.
Exactly.
So you see, these are
some of the disadvantages. Exactly.
Yes, these are challenges that we are facing in the teaching field. Not only that, they are also making the work very, very, very difficult now. Yeah, because like I said, we need something that is working. But what we have right now in place is not working for us. There is no corporal punishment. We have laws that are not implemented. Students have all right to do whatever they want to do. So you realize that you give an assignment, student will not do it. Okay? You give a test, student will not do it. And the next day they will be following you, I don't do your test. And it's your right to give them a test again.
Exactly.
Yes. But then when corporal punishment was in place, if you declare a test, student is not there to miss the test. If you give an assignment, student is not there to declare
to miss that assignment. Exactly.
If you do a class work, it's a must. But now we are experiencing that in class. You walk into a class, give a class work, half of the class will not be even interested. Like for me, I'm teaching mathematics. One of the subjects that is the most hated subject in the class.
In Gambia.
Yeah. So you will be in the class. It's only 3 people that are active. The rest, you cannot send them out of the class because that's out of the law. You cannot send them.
Yes, exactly.
It's their right to be in the class. And then at some point they will be disturbing. So this is making the environment very difficult for those that are interested. But imagine then when corporal punishment was in place, a student is not there to disturb in a class.
Exactly.
But now you cannot punish the student, you cannot send the student out of the class, and he or she is not interested, let's say, in mathematics. So what are you going to do? You will be interacting the lesson. There will be the students that are interested to learn. We will not have the opportunity to learn. So it is making the environment very, very, very difficult. And also respect. We can see now, respect now is based on your personality and your ability to deliver. That's the time students will respect.
They will respect.
But then, no matter how young a teacher is, you must be respected.
Exactly.
Because of the whip or the stick.
Or sometimes this bond they used to put on like a necktie or something like sort of.
Exactly,
yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
And then we can also see like students now are taking their teachers as companion.
You see, that's quite obvious.
Sometimes they discuss you, they see all form of rubbish in the school, you know, Mr. This, you know, and then sometimes even, you know, they say rubbish about you in the school, which is sometimes making the environment very difficult for teachers. Then we were not seeing this, and then now we experiencing this. So at some point, it is making the teaching environment very difficult, to be honest.
Exactly.
But I'm not for the fact that I'm not saying that corporal punishment should be bad. What I'm just trying to emphasize is, let's see something that is working as a government, and I will continue repeating it. What is happening right now is not working, and this is creating a lot of problem in our output.
Exactly.
Yes, students are graduating with no morals. Students are graduating with resources that they cannot even. And then the society to be proceeded ahead, we need competent people. We need people with moral. We need people that are honest to take this country forward. Exactly. But all these values now are depreciating in our students. You can see the level of honesty, the level of morals, the level of hard workness is all going down. And if those people now happen to be the leader in future, we're seeing the same problems happening in our offices. Okay, because you are not trained to be somebody honest. You are not trained, you know, to respect and then apply properly what you are taught. But in our offices, we are seeing this happening. So the effect is definitely too much. In schools, we have a lot of effects, and the same thing is applied at the home. Students are not respected at home, and we are seeing the same impact in our workplace because of the improper train at schools level. We're seeing the same thing happening in the output, that is the workplaces.
Exactly.
Yes, so there are a lot of problems that are definitely happening because of this. But as a nation, we can see of something that is working, because I want to believe there are countries that are developing and they are not doing this corporal punishment.
Exactly.
So maybe they have something that is working for them, and that's what we also need to sit and think about, what we should do to make things work and then produce a very good output at the end of the day. But there are definitely some effects.
Yeah, exactly. There are great effects, I can say. So, Mr. Cisse, as we are coming now to the end, what do you have to say on this, like the banning of corporal punishment? Is education, like, is it increasing the system of education, or is it deteriorating the education system in the Gambia?
Yeah, and I think it is the education system that builds a country. So I believe this is definitely affecting us as a country. Yeah, because, you know, when we take right now, the learning, you know, is depreciating. The result in learning is definitely depreciating. Mm-hmm. You understand? So I believe we should bring back corporal punishment. We should bring it back, because that is two things. If you shift from the old system into a new system, and if the new system did not work for you, what do? You go back to the old system. I think that's what we should do. It was that system that would make every student to read every day as if tomorrow is the exam. Exactly. And today we don't read. Today we don't discipline our mind to read. We don't discipline our system with education. That's why you think you can do LMD last minute day, or my brother, you can't go. You will never make it.
Exactly.
Because, you know, you don't discipline your eyes for it. You don't discipline your energy for it. So don't expect one day you're just gonna open book and everything go to your head. That's why they fall asleep when they want to read. This is what happened. You don't read, you want to do it one day, you can't do it. If you want to be an athlete, you want to be that 5,000 meter, you know, runner, you have to train every day. Make sure you train 6,000 meter every day if you want to make it, because that is the thing. So, and I think we should bring back the old system, the system that gave us the like of SAIDOU Jawara, that gave us Edward Francis Small, a system that gave us the great leaders of this country. I think we want the same system back, so that, you know, we can have productive citizens in our country, those who will be schooled with moral, those who will be God-fearing people.
Yes, exactly.
In mounting the administration of our country. We need it. Without it, My brother, Mr. Jallow, we are dead as a nation. We are dead.
That's quite obvious. Yes, Mr. Ba, how do you see the system of education in this during the time of the banning of the corporal punishment? How do you see the system of education now and then?
Yeah, to be honest, like I said, the world is shifting. So at some point there are certain things that we are doing cannot be done now. Yes, that. Yeah, but we are not disputing the fact that corporal punishment is something that to.
No, you say something. The world is shifting, and there are certain things we can bring them back. Of course, we can bring back one. Can move us forward. When we came in 20th century, that system was moving Gambia forward. It was that system that gave birth to the people who fought the liberty of our government from British monarchy. Though I don't call it independent, but they took our government from the British monarchy, and Gambian, totally control the administration of our affair. You understand? So never matter where the world is shifting, we are at the same place still. You know that. The world is shifting. We are moving. The current system is not giving us what is better than the gardening that we were doing in school. We are not doing it. That's why we see brothers and sisters who are doing agriculture. But when it comes to theory, they are good. They are perfect. We have PhD holders, we have degree holders, master degree holders. But when it comes to the practical, they are poor.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say, the world is shifting. There are certain things they cannot happen, and what I mean by that is for instance, the government of the Gambia want to bring back corporal punishment.
Corporal punishment.
You will be Samson. That's what I'm saying.
You will?
Some of these big nations will Samson you. They will not. They will not sponsor you.
Brother, can I tell you one thing? Can I tell you one thing?
The ban of this corporal punishment, they said it's from like the abolition of children rights. Yeah, it's from the UN.
No. But can I tell you one thing? Let them take their affair. It is not what is good for them. It is what is good for us and our country. No, let us be Samson.
That's true.
We rather be Samson. We produce productive citizens of our country than not to be Samson, and yet still we produce thief. We produce criminal for our country.
Do you know the problem there? The problem there is, as a nation, you are not competent enough to produce your own things.
That is the human resources.
You are not utilizing those human resources. Do you have the means of reforming those human resources? You are not economically strong.
Exactly.
So you need to be supported. That's what I'm trying to say. As a nation, we need to be supported.
Brother, can I tell you one thing?
We have a lot of issues. We have a lot of economical problem, educational problem, health problem. So we need to be supported as a nation because we are not yet to that level of supporting us.
No, can I tell you one thing?
We don't have the human resources in place. Okay, we don't have the technology in place. So this is why now that's what I'm trying to say. Even America is trying to sanction China with some of their human rights violations.
No,
so that's what, and China is more advanced almost with America.
Exactly.
So applying a sanction on you doesn't mean that like you as a nation you find it difficult.
No, brother. Can I tell you one thing? Why are we going to be afraid for foreign power to put sanction on us? I want to come somewhere when we are trying to put moral in our people, so to make them productive tomorrow. Any nation, I don't think any nation in the earth will do that. We are not violating their right, but we are developing that.
Do you know why you're going to do it?
Exactly.
If corporal punishment is bring back to school right now, there should be somebody, who will come and against it.
Exactly.
That's quite okay.
That's quite okay.
That's what I'm saying. People can take this government to court because of that.
Exactly.
It is definitely out of it. We cannot bring back corporal punishment.
No, brother.
All we not accept it.
Maybe they need to like the reformation of laws.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is we need to
bring in different laws. Yes,
exactly.
Okay, what do you think will work?
We need to see what is working for us as a nation, because every society have cultural norms and values. So they need to calm down, sit, and then analyze some of the things that will work for us. We should not be copying the West, neither the America or any.
No, can I tell you one thing?
What I'm trying to say is, corporal punishment, those harsh way of treatment now cannot be in place. You cannot have that.
Exactly.
The world have shifted now to another generation. So somebody will against you as a government just for decline that there will be corporal punishment in school.
Brother, can I tell you one thing?
So
there can be no corporal punishment in school. Fine, that is good. Do not beat no child in school. Fine, that is good. And yet still, when those child they spoil, they become bandits in the society. The same government will arrest them. They will beat them. They will gale them. That is all right. That is all right. But they will have them seated at one place and they become no use to the nation. And they call it rehabilitation center, and when they are out there, they become worst. That is all right. Nobody is taking them to court. Now we are saying what was good for us. Let's go back to it. Now, since the inception of the non-corporal punishment in the school system, what is the benefit? What did we produce? Yeah, you can answer. Yes, we produce bandits, we produce criminals, and so on and so forth.
Going back to that all will not be like, it will not be something that will be very easy to do in the Gambia. Going back to the normal corporal punishment system will not be something very easy. But then perhaps the government might implement another rules that that will suit the Gambia.
Exactly.
Now,
neither corporal punishment nor banning all corporal punishment. Perhaps
what we can do is maybe to check our system, retrain the teachers.
Exactly.
Okay, put qualities in the teachers, put quality in the administrators.
Exactly.
Okay, implement these laws. If a student don't do the assignment, there is a strict law. Okay, let's apply those laws.
What is the law?
We've seen a decline of some of these laws. In fact, in the private school now. Students are very free in private schools. In government school, at some point, the principal or the senior teachers will be implementing the laws. If a student misbehaves, there is a law for the punishment. But now we are seeing a high level of liberty for students in the private schools. But what I'm trying to say is, we can improve the education system, we can take this country forward, and we can do all these things possible with the absence of corporal punishment. All what we need to do is, let's just try to think of something that will be working for us, and that is, let's try to implement the laws that are in the schools. The students go by the laws, teachers go by the laws, and then our education system will be right now, the issue of bringing corporal punishment back to school is something that is a no-go area. You cannot bring that. Small boy will defend.
No. Can I say, do not say it is no-go area. Remember, in those days, there are some who are in the system who are bigger than some of them who are in grade 12 right now. You understand? But there have to be a system. You understand? I don't know. But just as I said, brother, the nation will not move if people are not well disciplined. I can tell you that. Get all your degree, get your degree to a PhD level. Without discipline, we are not going nowhere. Yeah, so that's why I say even. Okay, let's come here. We are Muslim. We are Muslim, right? We are Muslim. Let's check this. Even Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what happened to him? He learned through pain. He was being squeezed until he sweat. His breath was difficult for him. And again, what did we say? Jesus died on cross for the Christian, and he died through pain. Now, if you want something better, something good, you must get it through pain. Now, we leave them at their free will. Those are prophets, those are messengers, and they get it through that. Bro, no go. You know what?
Bro, thank you. I think now the time is not giving us. We don't have enough time, I think now. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. What do you have as conclusion, Mr.?
Yeah. Thank you so much once again for having me. And then all what I can say is it was a fruitful discussion, to be honest, with my gentleman. Let's just try to see what is working for us as a nation. That's where I'm going to conclude. Exactly. But the issue of bringing corporal punishment back, it cannot even be accepted at this level. All what we need to do is, let's try to train. There are different ways of disciplining. Does it only mean you have to discipline using the stick alone?
Yes.
Islamically, we know different ways of disciplining. So maybe let's try to think about different way of bringing moral back to schools, bringing respect back to schools, and at the end of the day, things will work for us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ba, on that conclusion. Yes, Mr.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Gallo, and thank you, Mr. Ba. my take would be we want corporal punishment back, and when we say corporal punishment doesn't only mean using a stick, you understand, but rather it is the usage of physical force to make a child to experience misbehavior he or she has conducted, so next time he or she will not do it. So I believe this was working for us as a country. I think we need it back. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cisse. Hello viewers, we have come to the end of this show. Thank you very much for watching. See you next week.